Hello everyone. So I was actually going to make a post about this, but I decided that for one, it'd probably be a really long post and people wouldn't read it, right? Because who reads really long things? And also people would probably listen to me if I'm talking versus reading. So this is what I have to say. A few weeks ago, I had a parent-teacher conference with AJ's teacher. And she started telling me that AJ was very advanced for his age. He doesn't need a lot of help when it comes to his letters and his numbers and his shapes and his colors. In fact, she's teaching him kindergarten and first grade stuff right now versus while everybody else is still trying to know the difference between the letters and what numbers are. He's already got it. And I was telling a friend of mine about this. And he said, well, and I kept telling him, I was like, I'm really proud of AJ. And he said, well, you should also be proud of yourself. He's like, because of you, that's why he is the way he is. And I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks, bye. And I got off the phone. And I waited for a while. And what he kept saying kept just replaying in my head, right? Because when people say something to you, you replay those words. If it's bad words or good words, no matter what, people replay what happened and what was said over and over again. So with that being said, everyone, women, men, everyone, please be careful with what you say. And you need to think about how it's going to affect the other person. Like, is it really going to make a difference? Or is that possibly going to hurt someone? You really need to think about how they're going to feel with what you're saying. But to get back onto this story, I started thinking about what he was saying. And I want to say probably maybe 5-6 hours went by because I was working. And I called him and he answered. And I said, hey, I just want to apologize to you. And he was like, well, why? And I said, because I got off the phone rather quickly and I dismissed the comment, kind of the compliment that you gave me earlier. And for that, I'm sorry. But, you know, everybody questions their parenting skills at one time or another. They do, right? Do I spend enough time with them? Do I not spend enough time? I don't make enough money. I can't send them to the best schools. I can't do this. They're not listening to me. Am I a good mother? Am I disciplining them enough? Am I showing them enough attention? Am I, you name it, right? You question how you're doing as a parent. If you're married or if you're single, doesn't matter if you're male or a female, you question how you are parenting. And I told him, I said, over the past few months, I've really questioned myself as a parent, because some things had happened and really questioned of, do I baby them too much? I don't think so, but maybe I do. Do I not punish them enough? Do I not punish them? Do I punish them too much? You know, and everybody has their own way of thinking, oh, you ground them too long, or they shouldn't be grounded at 4. Or you just have to understand their kids. You know, there's excuses and everyone is going to give you your peace of mind, their peace of mind, right? They're going to tell you, well, you shouldn't do that. You should do this. You should do this. But the thing is, you have to remember is that you know your kids, right? You are their parent. So I kind of know what works for AJ. Caden, terrible threes. Do not get me started on that right now. That's for a different post. But I kind of know what works for AJ. AJ is a very sensitive person. He has a big heart and he wants to please everyone. At the same time, though, he needs to please himself. But he is very, very smart. I've joked around of saying that he's young Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, for those of you who didn't know what I was saying. But he knows everything about space. He can tell you what every planet is. He can give you a fact about every single planet. I mean, he's just really smart, and he's 4. But getting back to the story, I apologized to him because I told him, you know, I really dismissed the compliment that you gave earlier, and that I was really questioning myself. And he told me, he goes, well, I don't know why you're questioning yourself. Okay, I've known you for 9 years. I knew you when you first turned 21, and you know, you didn't want to drink anything, and then you became, bar hopping and you were partying and drinking all the time to, okay, now I got to focus on my studies, and you were in college, and then, okay, now I need to focus on my work, and you were focusing on your work, and you became very successful very early on. I've seen you where you moved away, and then, you got into a relationship, you had a couple kids, whatever. I have seen you transform to the person that you are today. You are not who you were 9 years ago. You are not who you were last week. Every day you try to better yourself. Every day you really focus on what you need to do to be a parent. And you're the best parent that you can possibly be. But one of the things that I love about you as being a parent is that you always put your children's needs first. You've told me numerous times, man, I wish I could go out with some friends. I wish I could, maybe not have that responsibility for a little while and just be me again. But the simple fact is, who am I? I'm a mother. I am a mother of 2 very young children, 4 and 3. I am a single mother of 2 children. So I have to work hard in order to play hard. So yes, my kids are in daycare. They're in daycare 8-9 hours a day. So a teacher is with them 8 or 9 hours a day, not me. But I have to be the one to go to work to be able to pay for that. I have to be the one to go to work to be able to pay for the house that we live in, and the car that we drive, and food in their bellies. And I have to teach them right from wrong. And he goes, and I've seen you with your children before. They do respect you. Now, do they try to test the limits from time to time? Of course. But all kids are going to do that, and it's going to get worse over time, right? Because they want to see how much they can get away with. And they need to know what's right and wrong. And that's one thing that you are really good at teaching them. And the fact that you always make time for the kids, especially AJ, now that he's in this learning, so fastly. You're getting him homework, you're sitting down, you're helping him, you're showing him how to read, how to put blends together. He's doing adding and subtracting already, right? Because that's what you want him to do. And you tell him that it's important to do good in school so that you can get a good job and you can take care of yourself and take care of your future family. And, AJ wants to be an astronaut. So you tell him, hey, you got to get good grades so that you can go to the school and go to college and go to the moon, right? That's what he wants to do. He wants to walk on the moon. And, it's because of you that they are the way they are. So anytime someone gives you a compliment of AJ, of how good he's being, you need to remember that he is smart. And some of it is, inherited because you're a very smart woman. But the other thing is how you're teaching your kids. So anytime that you feel like that you're a bad parent, remember that you're doing the very best that you can possibly do right now. And you are being the best person that I know you can be. And your kids will always come first for you, no matter what. Even if that means that, hey, you're going to be single for the next 10 years. It doesn't matter to you, because your number one priority is making sure that those children are okay. And that's one of the things that I love about you and why you're such a good parent. And it took me by surprise, really, because, he was right. I do the best I very can. But if I didn't teach my children the right from wrong and how to sit in a chair and how to do this and how to do that, then he wouldn't be where he's at today. So this is a very long video. But the reason why I wanted to make sure and kind of put this out there is because I know that there are single parents and even married parents on my Facebook, on my social media site. Some I know personally, some I don't. But I just want to say you're doing a great job. Anytime that you think that you're not, you are. You are doing the best job that you possibly can for your child. So please, please, no matter what, if someone tries to tell you that you're not doing a good job, or you're feeling overwhelmed, or someone makes a comment about how you're parenting, take it with a grain of salt, because you know your children. You know your children. And I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of saying, oh, well, I wouldn't have done it that way. Thinking to myself, or do they really need that? But it's not my place, because they are not my children. So everybody does it. Right? Everybody kind of judges everyone at one time or another. But you need to understand that you are doing the best that you can possibly do for yourself. And if you feel like, hey, I need to make a change, make a change. Make a plan and say, okay, so today I'm going to spend an extra 10 minutes with my kids. So if their bedtime is 7:30, but you feel like that they need a little bit more one-on-one attention, guess what? Now their bedtime is 7:40. Make the change. So, really, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Everybody is going to do things differently, but you are a rock star. So just remember that. And it took me quite some time to realize that and to remember that, because negative thoughts will stay in your mind a lot easier than positive will, right? It will. Negative things will stay in your mind, and it's your choice to feel how you're going to feel. You are the one that can make the difference in your life. How do you want to feel today? How do you want to feel about the way you're parenting? How do you want to feel about yourself? How do you want to feel about other people? Only you can decide that, and you can decide how you're feeling. So every day I wake up and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for everything that I have in my life. I am thankful for the good, the bad, and the ugly. I am thankful for those relationships that knocked me down on my feet, for me saying, what are you talking about? Oh my gosh, why are you saying these horrible things to me? I don't get it. I am thankful for that. For the simple fact that, guess what? That's your opinion of me, okay? That's not what I think of myself, okay? There's a difference between being cocky and confidence, right? And I get that. There's a very thin line of that. But I know who I am in my life, and I know that I am a damn good mother. And if you don't think so, then guess what? You do not deserve to be in my life or my children's life. Simple as that. So, and I say that, I'm getting so kind of like passionate about that, because I have let people bring me down and saying, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not a good mother. I mean, obviously they see something that I don't, right? Maybe I need to change. No, not at all. I am who I am, and I'm going to treat my children how I want to treat them, and I'm going to love on them, and I'm going to do the way that I want to do things. Now, if someone comes into my life and we become a partner, right? That's one thing, and we can sit and discuss, and we can say, this is how I want to raise my children. This is how I see that children should be raised. Now, how do you feel like that, and where do yours come from? Like, how do you get these feelings? And if that's the case, you can come to a compromise. But there has to be a good compromise. It's not just one way or the other. Long video. I'm going to stop talking now. You are awesome.